This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joyton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Paul Mosseri, who is the Executive Director of Child and Family Services here in Alpena. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Nancy. Nice to be with you.
Nice to have you here, and congratulations on your position with Child and Family Services, a wonderful organization in our community that's very important to all of us. So I'm glad you're there, and I understand you have an interesting story how you got to be there.
Well, my wife and I had been visiting for a number of years with her dad, stepmom up here in Alpena, and we fell in love with the community, decided to buy a house, and the same day we had settlement, we learned about this job opportunity, and they, we tried to get out of town, but they called us back and said, come on back, we'd like to talk to you, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
Yay! And so what is your background, Paul?
Well, I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and started out in the ministry because my dad was a preacher and thought that was, the way to go, and that didn't work out so well, and went on into counseling and child welfare, social services, behavioral health, done quite a number of things over the course of my lifetime, all of which I think have adequately prepared me for this position.
Yes, I say sure have the credentials to be there. So I know you must have some goals or some long-range plans or projects, so can you share any of those with us today?
Well, yes. About half the people in Alpena that I've met either used to be on a board of directors or maybe used to work for the organization, so I get a lot of ideas from a lot of people about what we can be doing. So many things have changed there. We used to have the Hope House and the residential program for girls, but now we're back to the more conventional things. We're doing adoption and foster care. We're focusing, especially this year, on specialized foster care that targets an older population of kids, adolescents, and typically kids with maybe mental health problems, kids who had run-ins with the law. They're kids who are typically maybe not so desirable for a family who wants to foster, but nevertheless, they have those needs as well. We hope to keep them out of a more restrictive environment, such as detention or residential care, where sometimes they get more harm than good from those kind of environments.
Very true.
So we also have the Day One program and the Parent Mentor program, both of which are funded by the Kellogg Foundation, which we're still in the process of trying to get the renewal for that for this next number of years, that hopefully they can continue to fund us for those programs that provide a service to at-risk families where the kids are still in the home. And it's sort of a family preservation approach, prevention, try to keep the kids at home instead of seeing them go into placement.
And the parent mentoring thing, what a great idea. A lot of times young people, who haven't been raised absolutely the best, that pattern can continue and continue. But with the parent mentoring program, they actually mentor with other parents and people, professionals, people on their team to help them through those things like a baby that doesn't sleep for days on end and, behavioral problems, all those wonderful things. They can talk to someone who's been there and done that.
Yes, indeed. And people who maybe are familiar with services in the community that can help a struggling family, parents, to more adequately care for that child. We really believe that the child is best kept with the family. And so it's almost more of like a wellness approach, rather than the disease model. Rather than wait till they get into care and try to fix them and the family, why don't we do more up front, to try to keep these families intact.
And now you had mentioned adoption. I know that in November was National Adoption Day, and I saw all the Facebook messages and the newspapers and the television stations. Sounds like it was a tremendous success.
What a remarkable occasion. I've never participated in anything like that anywhere else that I've worked in, several other states. So, and I think Judge LaCrosse has a large part to do with that,
yes.
The success of that program. I hope we can continue in the future to celebrate together on that day those families who have been able to transition now to a forever family, adopting the child and becoming an intact family going forward in the future. It has to be extremely rewarding for those families.
Okay, some other programs?
Well, I mentioned most of them already. So the foster care and adoption and the Day One Parent Mentor program. We just signed a contract with Community Mental Health as well to do respite care for families who have children maybe with disabilities who need a break. And we could step in and provide them with, maybe weekend assistance, again, all with the intention of, keeping families intact.
And, I know that you have a push out there for families to become foster parents. And I want them to know that it's something that Child and Family Services walks hand in hand with you every step of the way, from the application process to the child that gets placed into your home. You're never alone in this process.
Indeed, and it's an exhaustive process, just the application process alone. I've, again, seen nothing like it elsewhere where I've worked, other states, but Michigan takes it very seriously, you know, to make sure these families are adequately prepared for the challenge they're going to face, you know, in taking kids into the home. And we do provide a lot of support. Families can't really ever prepare adequately enough, you know, for the stress they're going to encounter when a child comes into their home. Even if it is a relatively easy child to manage, it's still stressful to take on any new member in the family.
And of course, the ultimate goal, as you said, is to get them reunited with their families.
Yes, indeed. And again, Michigan stresses that and works diligently to reunite families. And meanwhile, even with young kids, if there's a parallel program going on, to find an adoptive home for them in the event that it fails. Rather than wait till the child can't return home, there's a concurrent process going on preparing, even searching for an adoptive family in the event the child does not return home.
And someone too out there that's decided that they would like to adopt a child, you're the good and first place to start.
Well, Michigan has outsourced that to private agencies to do that kind of work, and so yes, we hope to be able to serve this community in that capacity very well going forward.
And once again, it's something that there's someone there that works with you every step of the way, takes some of the pain out of the process, because paperwork is kind of hard to do when you're not used to it.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So we provide a lot of support for that. I don't know that we could ever provide enough support, but we fortunately have a few volunteers who stepped up to assist us, and so if there are those in the community who want to volunteer, we're always more than happy to have volunteers assist us with transportation, with providing support to the families.
So anyone out there looking for their New Year's resolution, they want to volunteer for an agency, Child and Family Services would be a good place to start.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and all we do, we can go online. I checked out your website today, very nice website. It explains all the programs, everything very easy to understand and read. So they can go to the website or they can contact your office for more information.
Yes, especially we're looking for foster families, you know, tremendous need. We got a small grant from Community Foundation Northeast Michigan to do a thrust into Montmorency County to recruit foster families there, and also some grants from Tawas United Fund and Oscoda Area United Way to do trauma training and foster parent recruitment in those neighboring counties. So we're grateful for the community support to enable us to do this recruitment.
Okay, we're just about out of time. I want to thank you very much for being here. And once again, congratulations on your position, and looking forward to hearing some wonderful news coming out of Child and Family Services.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Thank you. I'll be right back with some information on Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Phil Hartmeyer, and he is marine archaeologist at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Good morning, Phil.
Hi, Nancy.
Everywhere I look, everything I hear, it's about the film festival. So tell me what's going on.
Yeah, it's been a great couple days. I want to highlight one of our favorite events for staff was the Thunder Bay International Film Festival creative workshop that we put on for 15 lucky participants. They were from all over, which was cool. Led by Sanctuary volunteers and Sanctuary staff. It was a one-day crash course in film development, shooting, editing, and post-processing as well. It was incredible. We had people from students from ACES Academy that came. We had a mother-son team. We had an Alpena High School teacher come in for the ride. It was a great, incredible first year for this workshop, and we're looking forward to doing it again next year.
And you folks always get wonderful films, wonderful presenters. I mean, kudos to the staff for bringing a film festival of that caliber to our town. And I know that it always sells out, and people came from all over virtually the world in the United States to the film festival.
Absolutely. You know, it's been quite a crazy last few years for the film festival. You know, Stephanie Gandula, who's been running the show for us, has been absolutely a magician.
I remember the first year how nervous she was, and then all of a sudden it was just overwhelming, too many people, and
Right, and what a flower it's blossomed into. I mean, you have people from, like you said, all over the world coming and not only seeing films, but debuting films, participating in these workshops. workshops, you know, talking to folks and getting people engaged. It truly is an international film festival right here in Alpena. It's awesome.
And the other part is, like our first guest said, you know, he comes to Alpena to visit. He visited the Marine Sanctuary. He loved town so much he started looking for work and bought a house here. And I know story after story of how that's happening with people who've either come here for one of your events to ride on the Lady Michigan, or you know, have come to the maritime classes at the ACC. And they're coming to our town, they're staying here, they're making unlimited contributions.
Absolutely. You know, it's one of our biggest objectives is to, you know, generally improve the city of Alpena, you know, and bringing people in, like you said, spending money at restaurants, you know, going out, staying in our hotels. I mean, that is one of our, you know, socioeconomic benefits for having a sanctuary in a community like Alpena, bringing these guys to the area and just making them fall in love with it.
And you've been a little limited by the amount of rooms we have in town. So now with the new hotels that are coming, I can see you folks out in the future there just filling up every hotel room.
Exactly, that's the idea.
So we want to talk a little bit about programming too.
Sure, yeah. February is going to be a continuation of our Evening of Archaeology lecture series. It's a lecture series that we've had for a couple years, but we generally run it in the fall and spring. And this February, we have 3 lectures on the ballot. One is Citizen Science at 180 feet. It's a talk by our Deputy Superintendent, Russ Green, on the schooner Kyle Spangler. That's going to be on February 12th from 6 to 7:30. Great presentation on working with local wreck hunters and NOAA archaeologists to document just an incredible shipwreck, an incredible story. And then the 17th and the 19th, that's a Tuesday and Thursday, okay. I'm going to be giving 2 talks. I should backtrack though and just say that the Kyle Spangler talk by Russ Green is going to be in Rogers City. Okay. And on the 17th, I'm giving a talk on Pewabic, which is one of Thunder Bay's most deadly and famous shipwrecks. That's going to be in Alpena, and then followed up by another talk in Harrisville on Pewabic as well. So.
And I wasn't able to attend any of the ones in the fall, but I was actually on an airplane coming back from Florida, sitting next to a lady from Traverse City who had driven all the way from Traverse City here to attend one of the lectures. And her and her husband came. She said it was outstanding. She spent the night in town, absolutely loved it, and she said she, you know, peruses your website all the time to find out when the next series is coming out.
That's great, you know, and for staff, it really is one of our favorite outreach events to do, just simply because, you know, our research is so, that's what got most of us into this field, you know, and I could talk about Pewabic till my eyes bleed. I mean, it's just what we love, it's our passion, and so having opportunities to talk to the public and share some of our, you know, research projects, whether it be personal or NOAA related, from all over the world, really, that's what's cool about it too. So having lectures on a variety of different topics keeps it fresh, and it's been a great hit, so we love doing it.
And with the expanded territory, it's great that you're taking some of your, I know you did part of the film festival in Rogers City, and now some of the talks will be in Rogers City. That's great, tying in that community with the shipwrecks in their area too.
Absolutely, you know, since expansion, and even before really, you know, we really have been pushing, you know, neighboring counties and neighboring communities, getting them engaged. You know, Wednesday's film festival was in Rogers City, and so being able to develop more programming in these areas is something that we're looking forward to. I mean, I can't wait to be talking to folks in Harrisville, and I'm sure Russ feels the same way about Rogers City. So.
And that's something I think that the Sanctuary excels and is partnering with other agencies and community, other projects in the community, partnering yourself up. And if anyone's not been to Maritime Festival, 4th of July, that gives you an idea of how much goes into, you know, bringing our community together. That's just, you know, one example of an event.
Absolutely, you know, and partnerships are the way to go. You know, it's the way to bring resources together and bring more people to Alpena. You know, as much as I'd like to believe, it's not just shipwrecks out here. There's incredible science going on in tons of different fields, and by able to package these things together and bring different shareholders into Alpena through the sanctuary, through our research boats, and through our facilities, it's a win-win for everybody.
It is.
Not just archaeologists in Alpena. So.
And that ORV competition last year, I mean, that was jaw-dropping. There was no other way to describe it. Walking over there and seeing the people from every country, every nation, the dress, and walking downtown, seeing them downtown, going to restaurants and seeing them in restaurants. And I mean, they had to be thrilled too, because I know that they were very much welcome to our community.
Absolutely, and that was the biggest thing, and kudos to Alpena especially.
Yes.
I mean, they gave raving reviews of how engaging and how supportive the community was, driving teams to Home Depot for extra PVC parts. I mean, it was just of enormous proportions how Alpena came out and showed up, and these guys really appreciated it.
Well, it kind of looks like we're going to have a good summer if the Farmer's Almanac is true. So I know Lady Michigan will be out there. You'll be out doing all kinds of explorations and fun things. Any new exciting projects you can tell us about?
Yeah, well, as far as research is concerned, our calendar is just coming up, but I can tell you this, it's going to be a whole lot more of partnership building and bringing new people down into Alpena. Michigan Tech, we're working with bringing some of those guys and their technology into Alpena for a variety of different things. But it's going to be an exciting summer, as it always is, not to mention all the incredible education events that we have. So.
Well, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much for being here, and congratulations on the success of the film festival.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Jointon following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Jointon, president of Alpena Community College, and my guest this morning, Director of Facilities Management for ACC, Tom Ludwig. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you.
And our topic this morning is an exciting event coming up this week, this coming Saturday, which is the ribbon cutting for the Electrical Power Technology Center, named in honor of Ferris Worth. And so to kick things off, how about just giving the audience a description of what is this building project and what's going to be used for. Then we can get into how it was built.
Okay. Well, as you might have heard, we have the ability now to turn this program, our utility tech program, into a 4-year program. And this will allow us to do that. It features things that we don't have in the past that we'll be able to teach in the future, along with some alternative energy methods with wind turbines and solar panels, and how that all integrates with the grid. That expands our program quite a bit.
So really all of our electrical trades programs, we have several of them, will be taught in this new facility.
Correct.
Big improvement of the current indoor lab that'll include storage for the equipment, an indoor pole lab that is more effective for teaching students when the instructor's high up on the pole with a student. The rest of the class outside can't see and hear very well, but this has got it's a catwalk arrangement.
Correct. It's an indoor climbing room where the students can practice their climbing and installation of electrical components like the transformers and things like that. And the instructor will be able to stand there at eye level with them on a catwalk and supervise what they're doing. Along with other students, they can watch how things are being done at the same time. So it's a real teaching aid for them in that respect.
That's good. And in addition to that, a couple of big labs, high bay.
Yes, we have 2 large labs. One is for low voltage lab and the other is for high voltage lab.
Right.
And along with that, there is 3 classrooms and a computer lab where they can do simulations and stuff like that in the computer lab.
And also offices and a conference room.
We have 5 offices in the conference room.
So this is one of the premier programs at ACC. Had many, many students come through, get top-rated instruction, and then launched into first-class careers. And we want to be able to do more of that, not just at the certificate and associate level, but also the bachelor's degree level. Here recently, we've just submitted our application to our accreditor, the Higher Learning Commission, for bachelor's degree level instruction. And we have a curriculum outlined and plans for additional staffing in that area to bring another bachelor's degree program in addition to the ones offered by Northwood and Ferris and UM Flint to people here in Alpena. So about square footage of the building?
The classroom area and labs are about 10,000 square foot. And we've got another 9,000 square feet with the mobile garage and the climbing room.
Very good. And our architect for the project, SHW, from downstate, and a local construction management company and construction company, DeVere. How's that interaction gone?
It's been great. It's been a very enjoyable project. Good cooperation from both the architect and DeVere. and it's been a real pleasure. It's been a fun project.
It has been, and every thing that I perceived agrees with what you've said. DeVere is really on the money with safety regulations and supervision, and I think the only incident I heard about was somebody slipped on the ice in the parking lot.
That's the only thing that I know of also, and they did conduct safety meetings every Monday with every crew, and the cooperation and the attention to detail has been excellent.
It's worked like a charm. Some of the local subcontractors you might be able to recall?
Yeah, we have Worth Electric has done all the electrical portion of the project, and MacArthur, another local, did all the excavating and stuff like that. And we'll be back in the spring to finish that up once the weather turns and we can put grass and do some of the landscaping, and they're going to be involved in that. There also looks like they're going to be involved in the construction, or at least the foundation for the wind generator.
Yes.
The wind turbine, people called me this morning and said they're going to try and use some local people to do that rather than bring all the equipment up from downstate. So
that's good.
And MacArthur was one that was
so the wind turbine will be about 70 feet tall and
yes,
in front of the facility, and it'll be used by the students for operation, maintenance, monitoring of the power that's generated.
Right.
In fact, the lobby has some displays
right.
on digital screens that people, visitors, and students can use to see from that, the solar generators, various other pieces of equipment.
Correct. They'll see how you'll be able to walk in the front door, and once it's all programmed and everything, you'll be able to see what the influence of the wind turbine is doing, and also what the solar panels are doing and what they're contributing to our electrical needs over at the
real-time data
Real-time.
That's relevant to the instructional programs there. Yep. That's good. Well, the public is invited to a open house on Saturday, this coming Saturday. There'll be tours in the morning and the afternoon, and the official ribbon cutting will be at 1:15 p.m. So I'd like to extend an invitation to the audience to show up and see what we have done, get to know a little bit more about the prospects for instruction at ACC, improving our electrical trades programs in this way. And I must say that the funding for this project has come not only from the state of Michigan and the bequest from Ferris Worth, who left us $1 million to name a building for him, but also numerous local people who believe in ACC and who stepped forward to contribute. The ACC Foundation had a $600,000 campaign that went over, and lots of local people working on that, as well as ACC trustees and employees, and participation in local foundations and companies, also significantly Alpena Power Company and Besser Foundation. So it's been a great effort to put the money together, a $5 million project, and to see it come to fruition, and certainly is a moment of pride for all of us. And I want to give credit to you, sir, ACC's man on the ground, point person for interacting with the construction company, DeVere, and the architect, and all the other players who have caused this facility to move from dream to reality. So thank you very much for the excellent oversight that you have done on the project.
Thanks, Olin.
And again, to the public, come on out and see what we have done this coming Saturday, 1:15, the ribbon cutting, and thanks for being on the program this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joyton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at www.wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.